Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm bringing you from Transformers the Movie 86 Studio Series line. This is Grimlock and Autobot Wheelie. Let's take a look at the packaging first. And I want to take a look at that beautiful piece of artwork on the bottom left. There you see Grimlock in Dino Mode and Wheelie riding him on top with his slingshot, ready for action. Very cool image there. Not much else to say about the packaging. It's very run-of-the-mill. On the side, you get that same image. Studio Series, a little bit closer up. He is a leader class. He's very heavy in the box. On the bottom, you have your product info. On the top, you have that window with the Transformers the Movie logo. And on the side, again, you have a sort of blown up image of that same picture. And you have the Authentics logo there. You have your 86 logo cut out there with a red background. And on the back, you have the product shots. There he is in Dino Mode and Wheelie on top. He does convert into 24 steps into robot mode. And his backdrop is the Mockery of Justice. So we'll take a look at that when we get him opened up. And big screen inspired scale detail backdrop. Now Grimlock and the Dinobots storm the Quintesson courtroom. And that is the backdrop scene that we get with this figure. So let's open this big guy up and see what he's all about. Okay, so here I have 86 Studio Series Leader Class Grimlock out of the packaging, and we're going to start out in Dino Mode and just take a quick look at that background there. That's very nice. It's very simple background, not my favorite, but it is what it is. So let's talk about his accessories first. He does come with his blaster, which is done in just a black plastic. It's upside down, but you can just see it is molded in just a black plastic, and it's very nice. You have some nice sculpted detail, and it's very Grimlock in his blaster, so it's very cool. I really like that, and it can store in Dino Mode. I'll show you that in a second. There are two little tabs here and here that fit on the back, kind of below where Wheelie is standing. So he does come with that. And speaking of Wheelie, let's take him off here and take a look at him. So Wheelie is, I'm not sure how I feel about this guy. Again. You know, a lot of people are saying that we wish, you know, he came with, Grimlock came with his sword instead of this guy, or that he transforms, or that he just wasn't included at all. Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the detail, his head sculpt is really cool. He's got a nice silver painted face and some nice blue eyes. And as far as the paintwork on this, the paintwork is really nice. You have that sort of light pale pink, almost pale salmon color, nice Autobot symbol there. And as far as the paint is concerned, it's really nice and it's very well done. It's very nicely painted. You do get a little bit of detail here on the legs and on the arms. Overall, though, it's very static. And it's very hollow here. It's just, I mean, it's a cool companion piece, I guess, but. As far as like the figure itself, I'm not really too impressed. As far as articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so it can go up and down, kind of move side to side, which is nice, and it can go a full 360 there. Now these arms are on ball joints, if you can, and they do come off, obviously, so they are on ball joints. And let me just get this guy so you can see there. And he can go the full 360 on his arms, either arm. But there is no bend on the right arm, and there's a static bend. There's no articulation at the elbow or anywhere else. There is articulation on the waist, which is surprising. It does have a little bit of kind of forward movement there. And nothing at the legs. They are, again, on ball joints, and they're just static. There's no bend. There's a static bend at the knee, but there's nothing else. So very limited in articulation. Now, the slingshot can come off, but I probably wouldn't recommend taking him off because it's, you know, maybe it'll get lost. But anyways, it is what it is. You can kind of get him in a bending, you know, a kneel down pose, I guess, on the ground. But he's really meant to be a companion piece to Grimlock. So there is a little port here on the side of his leg, which does plug in. Let's get Grimlock out here. Which does plug in on either side on this little peg here sticking out, or there's one on this side. I like to use the one on this side. So just taking Wheelie and pegging that in there on the side of his knee. Easier said than done. It's a little tricky. Again, because this guy is not very posable, it's a little bit tricky to get him on there. So as far as Dino Mode, you can get Wheelie on there. There he goes. And you can pose him. You can have his you can have him in the position where he's like about to fire his slingshot there. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, again, it's a little tricky to get him on there. And you can kind of put his arms out like that and pose him. Again, I think it's easier just to have him rest on the back there, I think. But anyways, so there he is on the back of Grimlock shooting his slingshot. Yeah, I'm not too impressed with the wheelie figure. Again, I would have liked to see maybe a core class figure that you could use with this other leader class, or just have his sword, or just, I don't know, make this guy an actual transformer. But anyway, so that is Wheelie. We'll take him away. Now let's take a look at the main event here. Here we have Grimlock in his Dino Mode, and this guy is really cool. He's such a beast. I do have Skylink's blast effects in his mouth there, so we'll just take that out for a second. And you can see inside of his mouth there is a little peg there that you can add some blast effects. So taking a look at the detail in Dino Mode, it's really cool. You get the nice painted blue eyes there, some nice sculpted detail here. Again, on this gold part, you get some really nice gold paint here. And they left out the front teeth and the bottom teeth, I guess, for safety reasons. Although they didn't do that on previous releases, but going down, very cool. You get some nice articulated hands here. We'll get into articulation in a sec. But some very cool detail, really nice sculpted detail here with some red paint. Very crisp. I love the paint apps on this figure. You get a nice Autobot symbol there on the belly. And going down here, again, you get some nice sculpted detail. Really nice on the legs and lower legs here. And going on the back, again, you get some very nice detail with the green and the red and the blue paint on the back. And again, his tail is done very nicely as well. So some very nice sculpted detail all around the figure. And underneath, you do see, we'll get to, in Robot Mode, we'll get to that detail in Robot Mode. But as far as articulation with this guy, his head is on a swivel, so you can do a full 360 with Grimlock's head. And there's no, that's because of transformation, there's a little bit of tilt here at the head, so the head can go up and down. His mouth can open and close. There is no head articulation as far as this part is concerned. His whole neck just rotates there. As far as his arms here, they are on a ball joint and very, very stiff. So you do get some articulation there, and you do get some articulation at the elbow, so it can go up and down like that. So you can wave. Other articulation is in the legs. You do get this is a nice ratchet joint here on the leg, so you can pivot that back and forth, and you get a knee bend, which is very nice. That is part of the transformation for Robot Mode as well. So you get some nice articulation there. There's nothing else behind here. There's no, tail articulation or anything like that. So it's a little bit limited in its articulation in Dino Mode, but it's not bad. So for a quick comparison, I'm going to bring in my Power of the Primes Grimlock. And there he is. Let me just pull this back a little bit. Get them in the picture there. So yeah, there he is with Power of the Primes Grimlock. And you can see how they scale together there. And compared to the Power of the Primes Grimlock, I think this new Leader Class 86 Studio Series Grimlock is sort of your quintessential Grimlock. It's your classic Grimlock. Now looking at that Power of the Primes Grimlock, it really didn't scale with the other Dinobots and things so well, but this new leader class really has a nice size to it. So there's a quick comparison there. And also bring in the old G1 Grimlock just for a quick throwback there. There he is with his G1 self. And there's the two Grimlocks side by side, so you can sort of see a quick comparison there. Now, they did paint the eyes blue instead of on the original figure. It was painted red, and we'll see some differences in the Robot Mode as well. So, speaking of the Robot Mode, let's get Leader Class Dinobot. Let's get Leader Class Grimlock transformed into his Robot Mode. Before we get into the Robot Mode for Leader Class Grimlock, I just want to show you the storage for the weapon here. So, on the back of the gun here, we have two pegs right here, and it does plug in. If you take a look at the back of Grimlock right here, there's two slots right here, and so you want to take these pegs and just peg them in like so. Again, it can be a little tricky. It's kind of a little bit of a tight space, and sometimes this part does come unhinged, but there is weapon storage for his blaster in Dino Mode, so that's very nice. Just want to show that off before we get him into Robot Mode. Alright, so here you have Leader Class Grimlock all transformed in his Robot Mode, and let's take a quick look at how Wheelie attaches to Grimlock. Take a look at the top of his shoulder. There is a port. There's a hole on either side, and on the upper thigh of Wheelie there's a peg, so it just pegs right in there. It actually is a very tight fit, so let me just show you that, pulling that off. There is the peg right there, and it does just fit right into that little hole there. So my copy is it's very tight, so you really have to push it down. So we'll just take Wheelie off there for a sec, and there he is. Whoop, there goes my G1 Grimlock. And there he is with his blaster. Very cool. Really love the way the blaster turned out. So we'll just take that off and get into the detail with this guy. This guy is such a beast. I love him. He's so hefty and feels great when you're holding him. So first and foremost, let's get a look at that head sculpt. You have the nice dark blue painted visor. You get some really nice detail on the head sculpt there, on the visor on the upper side. So really, really cool head sculpt. I really like the way that came out. Going down the figure, you do have this sort of smoky gray clear plastic here. You can see the faint Autobot symbol behind that, and some very nice gold paint, again with some very nice sculpted detail all around this figure as well. You have sculpted detail on the arms all over the place. If you turn here, you get some more little pistons and things like that, and there's just detail all over this figure. Very, very nice. Going down the waist, again, you have some nice little sculpted detail there. Looks like I have a little bit of paint bleed right here. There's a little bit of gold paint right there, but it's nothing some rubbing alcohol can't fix. Again, down here on the waist, you get some nice detail, and going down the legs here, again, you get some very nice sculpted detail here, and going down the lower legs. We did see this in Dino Mode, but again, there's that blue, red, and green paint, again, with some nice detail there, and some nice detail on the lower toes. And it is nice that they added so much sculpted detail on the inside of the legs here, and that the legs are filled in. There's very little hollowness, absolutely actually no hollowness on this figure. The only hollowness there is on the side where the fists do fold in, but that really can't be helped. Now going on the side of the figure, he does have a bit of a backpack. It's sort of up to you how you want to display this. These do fold in and out, so you can have him sort of you can have that sort of look like that. I prefer it a little bit back. It looks a little bit cleaner from the front, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's Grimlock. You're going to have a backpack no matter what. So there he is from the back. And again, there's no hollowness on this figure except for the insides of the arms, which is very, very nice. And he does have a display stand port right there on the back, so that's a very nice inclusion there. Now getting into articulation, we have the head is on a ball joint. It can look side to side, it can look up and down, it can do the full 360. This guy is super articulated. He does have a hinge joint at the shoulder, so it can go all the way out like that. And his arms can spin all the way around. Nice soft ratchet joint there, I really like that. And he does have an upper bicep swivel here. He does have a over 90 degree bend at the elbow. Part of that is because of transformation. Now this does lock in place for the Dinobot legs, but it can come unhinged there and for the elbow. So he has nice articulation there. He does have some articulated, not really articulated, but the wrists can swivel 360, so that's very nice. And also these pieces here are articulated, so you can have them close like that, or you can open them. So it's a very nice inclusion. Again, this is very nice gold paint on this part here. And putting his arms out to the side, he does have a full 360 at the waist. Again, my figure is very tight. It's very nice. His legs can do the full splits. He can go out that much. As far as kicking, he can kick very high. And back, he can kick pretty far back as well if you just kind of move these pieces up. This is also nice that these are on a hinge here, on a swivel, so you can actually articulate. You can move these up and down, side to side, which is very, very nice. There's a hinge there. There's also a joint there. So you can get some real nice articulation with this guy. And there is a thigh swivel there, full 360. He gets a 90-degree bend at the knee, which is very nice. And of course, you get your ankle rocker tilt, which is very deep. It can come all the way out like that. And there's a little bit of, because of transformation again, there's a little bit of heel articulation in the back there. but nothing really at the front toes, but there is a little bit in the back. I don't know why you would really use that, but you can. So anyways, putting him back, and again on the back, you can, these are on a hinge joint and they are on another hinge going up like that. So you can sort of have his, you can have him with his sort of wings out like that if you want. Again, I prefer it a little bit more hidden. So you can get him in some really cool poses. And we will put his blaster back. And his blaster fits in very nice and tight. And let's just get him in a little pose there. Now, compared, let's do some size comparisons with, this is the Power of the Primes Grimlock. I don't have any of his accessories on him, but there he is with the Power of the Primes Grimlock. And see how they scale there. And here he is with the G1 Grimlock. Again, let me just adjust my camera here. So we'll just zoom out a little bit and get all these Grimmies in here. All right, so here we have the three Grimlocks. On the left, we have the Power of the Primes Grimlock. On the right, we have the G1 Grimlock. And in the middle, we have our 86 Studio Series Leader Class Grimlock. And again, I think this Leader Class figure is great. It is a really nice addition to any collection, and I think the scale is great, articulation's great, details. The only thing I really don't like is the wheelie figure, and as you can see here, I have not put him on the shoulder of Grimlock. I much prefer him without it. Anyways, I think this is the quintessential Grimlock for your collection, and I really am happy with him. He's great fun, his articulation is awesome, and his transformation is very easy, very intuitive. And it's just a great figure all around. So I highly recommend this figure. Anyways, this has been Matt in Japan for 86 Studio Series Grimlock Leader Class. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.